That's a good one, Jerry. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live. Well, that's right. We are live coming at you all the way from beautiful Beeville, Texas. And we are so happy you've all joined us this evening. We've got a great show planned for you tonight. We've got a wonderful musical guest, and we also have an author, we hope, that is going to be here this evening. We've been experiencing some unusually cold weather, so it's affecting some of our electronics. So I want to tell you right up front, if something happens, we will come right back as quickly as we can. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everybody who's joining us tonight. We really, really appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I've got some great news. Paul is in the woods. He is in, make sure I've got the right town, Decatur, Texas. And it is 19 degrees where he is at, and he is freezing. But I think he's warm in his hammock. So, without further ado, I want to bring Paul on. We're going to try to get to our musical guest as quickly as we can. So, let's bring Paul on. He may be asleep by now. Okay, Paul, I'm bringing you on. Let me go get him. Come on, Paul, get up. Wake up, Paul. Wake up, Paul. Oh, I think I scared him. So yeah, he's over in Decatur, Texas, and we can hear him. We could hear him earlier, but now I can't hear him. So we can see him, and that's just not fair. Paul, try to talk real quick and just see if we can hear you. I already know we can. Anyway, he is indeed in his hammock. It's 19 degrees. There's ice on his car. There's ice all around, but he has made it 17 hours already as of right now. So I'm very, very impressed with that. Speaking of impressed, there's another guy that I'm just really impressed with, Mr. Jerry Bradley. He is our consultant. And the reason I call him our consultant is because he knows so much more about music, so much more about just everything, I think. Paul, I can't hear you, Paul. So I'd like to bring our wonderful friend and consultant. The bad thing is I can't interrupt Paul because I can't hear him. Mr. Jerry Bradley on. Let's get him over here. Hold on. Stand by just a moment. There we go. I got to bring him. There he is. Hi, Jerry. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing better than Paul, but doggone it, I lost that bet. If he's at 17 hours, well,
yeah, because he said they got there at like 2:30 in the morning. So I'm already like, wow, Paul, pretty good. Thumbs up. Wait, I got to find thumbs up to Paul. So for those of you who bet 16, I think you did, right, Jerry?
Yep, I did.
You lost already. I gave him the max because I was trying to be the ever eternal optimist, right? So welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live. I saw my sister just got on here. I'm so excited. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to make you wait any longer. Hi to all of our wonderful viewers and listeners. Thanks so much for joining us. I would like to bring on our musical guest tonight. I heard this gentleman's songs and I was just blown away. I thought they were so beautiful. And I am so blessed that he's agreed to come here and come on our little podcast and share some of his wonderful songs with you and a little bit of his story. So without further ado, are y'all ready to meet our special musical guest, guys?
Yes.
All right, let's bring him out. His name is Doug Slater. So Doug, I'm bringing you out right now. Well, hi, Doug.
Hi, everybody.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm good. Not as cold as Paul, but
yeah. So you are in Arizona, right? What's the temperature there right now?
Yeah, believe it or not, today it was in the 40s, which is unusually cold for Arizona.
It is. It's in the 40s here today in Texas, so it's just all around a weird day for everyone.
Because I hear we're getting snow. I hear we're getting snow up in North Phoenix. So
wow, that is very
unusual days.
Wow, this weather is so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen. Well, as you can see, Doug, we have my co-host is up there in the corner. He's snuggled up in his teepee. The bad thing is, or is it a good thing? We can't hear him. So now I can interrupt him all I want. But I can't hit him on the arm. And isn't that funny, Paul? I'm always hitting him on the arm. I beat him up. Right, Paul? He can hear me, but he can't. I could say anything, and he can't defend himself. No, I'm just kidding. Paul's a great guy. I'm so proud of him for doing this. So, Doug, why don't you tell them a little bit about yourself? We know you're from Arizona. You're from, what is the city name?
Well, I live in Chandler. I grew up in Scottsdale. Arizona native. I went to got my music degree from Arizona State. Go Sun Devils!
Nice.
That's a pitchfork, right?
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was. I thought that was like a longhorn. That's a longhorn. So sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Big difference.
So, I've been writing music, making music for I don't know over 20 years. I've worked for the church for a long time. I've written music for the church. I've been writing music on and off, secular music for the last 30 years too. So, and I teach music full time too. So that's my main income. But as a musician, you do lots of things. So
absolutely. Well, wow, that's exciting to me because I am only a lyricist, and I say that I'm only a lyricist. I have instruments, but they just look at me and I'm like, okay, one of these days I'm going to play them. So that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So you studied music is your profession. How nice is that? That's
Yeah.
really nice. Do you get a lot of people that come up to you and ask you to help them with their music as of yet, or no?
Sometimes, yeah.
Right. I can just imagine.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of lyricists on the site that we all go to. I noticed that. There are really some talented people. So I know I was blown away when I first went on there. I've only been on there a short while, and I was just so impressed by the amount of talent. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my God, everyone on here is just it's hard to find a bad song, honestly. You know, some of them need a little bit of, you know, a polish around the edges, but I heard a lot of great songs already. I really have. And I'm excited that we're able to do this. So Jerry, do you have any questions? Paul can't answer right now or say anything, but Paul's like thumbs up. I know he's freezing. He's warming in his little, what do you call it? Hammock. Do you have any questions before we get started with the music, Jerry?
No, we can do the music and then we can talk afterwards.
All right. So I want to get right to it because I don't want them to miss out on any of these songs. So I was able to make some little videos for you, one of them with a picture you provided, which is beautiful. I hope I did them justice. I did the best I could for an old lady. I'm excited for them to hear your songs. So the first song we are going to play for them, it's a music video, is called Sovereign God. Why don't you tell them who influenced you for that song or what your influence was?
Well, most of my worship music kind of comes out of personal prayer, comes out of personal spirituality. So that was just kind of a prayer that was on my heart that ended up turning into a song. You know, the lyrics on the chorus are "Sovereign God, you are, sovereign God, you are, Lord of this heart's desire." So that was really, you know, my personal prayer that now is something that I use for corporate worship. So
that is really awesome.
Yeah, I was blessed enough to be able to go to Nashville and record that song in Nashville with some of the studio pros out there. So that was a lot of fun. Definitely an amazing trip.
I can't even imagine how amazing that would be.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Jerry? Go ahead.
Well, I noticed on Sovereign God, that was a big production. I mean, you had pianos, you had drums, you had violins. I couldn't tell. It kind of sounded like there was a cello in there. You had a lot going on.
We did.
And it came in and out with different background instruments coming forward. I mean, it was a very professionally done and big production. I mean, like most of us, we get a bass, a drum, a guitar, and we're okay.
If we're lucky.
Yeah.
Right, Jerry? If we're lucky, guys. Yeah, I think it's absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait for our awesome family. And I call us family, by the way, Doug, just so you know, because as far as I'm concerned, if you spend time coming to our show and interacting with these amazing singer-songwriters and supporting them, then to me, you're just like a family member. I mean, that's wonderful because you're taking time out of your evening, as far as I'm concerned. So welcome to the family. And let's go ahead and play that song. This song is called Sovereign God. Here we go, by Doug Slater.
Heart beats only for you, my gaze fixed on your kingdom. Every step I take closer to you, closer to heaven. Sovereign God, you are Lord of this heart's desire. I confess you, Lord of all. By your breath, my soul breathes new life. Safe in your arms, I take refuge. Wipe away the tears from my eyes. Lord, I rest in you. Sovereign God, you are Lord of this heart's desire. I confess you, Lord of all. this heart's desire, I confess you, Lord of all. Sovereign God, you are Lord of my life. I sing a love song to you, Lord, a love song to you. Sovereign God, you are Lord of this heart's desire. I confess you, Lord, Lord of all. Sovereign God, you are Lord of my life. I sing a love song to you, Lord, a love song to you. Because my heart beats only for you, my gaze fixed on your kingdom. Every step I take closer to you, closer to heaven. Every step I take closer to you, closer to heaven.
Wow. That was a beautiful song, Doug. It's just a beautiful song. I
Thank
absolutely
you.
love it. You're welcome. And I don't know if you probably weren't able to see it, but hearts were just flying everywhere. Hearts were just flying. So Kimmy's especially throwing hearts everywhere. She's like, I love it. I love it. So folks, show some love
Awesome.
for Mr. Doug Slater. We've got several other songs for you. That is beautiful. And the fact that it was your prayer to me makes it even more special. Don't you think so, Jerry?
Yeah, I do. And kind of a quick question, Doug. How would you describe, if you had to put a description on your songs, would you call them country Christian or, I mean, because you can tell that there's a country influence in there, a little more so on some of the other songs, maybe,
Mhm.
but you've got a. Uh, but I'm finding that one of the things that's happening in a lot of the Christian music today is because it's grown so large. It's kind of like rock used to be. Yeah, we
Mhm.
went from rock to country rock to pop rock to and the Christian songs are kind of going that. I'm seeing that happening within the Christian community. When I say that, I mean I'm talking about radio shows and so forth,
Sure.
where
Sure.
you're seeing so much of the seeing a whole lot of pop nowadays within that
Oh yeah.
community. A lot of rock, soft rock, not hard rock, uh, uh, but not a lot of country. Not a lot of country Christian, unless you get into certain areas. I don't know, maybe Arizona's like that, but I know whenever I go up in Northern Carolina, up north and into the woods, like I think it's Light 103 is one of the radio stations. Now they play the country Christian music, and
Mhm.
that's all they play. And you're in Arizona, you're in the middle of red dirt country, where you know, uh, we have a close friend, Charisse, that does red
Yes.
dirt country.
I
Uh,
know, and I love the Christian country Christian. I don't know, it's kind of just a little bit different sound than a traditional Christian or a gospel song. I love that song. That is so that I definitely can hear that at my church. That's something that they would play and people would be raising their
Mhm.
hands and praising. That's wonderful, Doug. So we have several other songs that we have here. The next one I have on my list is called "Saving Space." And I think that's such an
Yep.
interesting title. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that real quick? How you came up with the
Sure.
idea of the song and etc.
So speaking of red dirt, I've been writing with a friend who actually he helped me write "Sovereign God," as a matter of fact, too. Now that I think about it, but he lives up in northern Arizona now in Prescott, not too far from Sedona, where that red dirt is. But he and I wrote this song, "Saving Space." Um, and he had the idea for kind of basically the title idea, "Saving Space for You," right? Kind of the message is that, you know, even though we're going through hard times, I'm still, you know, saving space for you in my life and my heart. Um, and it has almost a bluegrass kind of country feel a little bit. So it was really fun to write. If you know a little bit of music, there's like a bar of three and then a bar of four. But it flows really well, which is the cool thing. I love music like that.
Yes.
And I ended up producing it here at my home studio and recording most of the vocals. He did some of the background vocals, but his name's Thomas Cupits. He's up in Prescott. Really great writer. And like I said, he helped me write Sovereign God as well. So
Wow.
I love working with him. He's a really good writer.
It's got to be amazing when you find somebody that you click with like that and you can just come up with these
Yeah.
amazing songs. That's awesome. Gosh. Well, let's go ahead and listen to it. Jerry, unless you have any questions, I'm just
No.
trying to keep an eye on the clock. I hate this. And I haven't seen our other guest yet, so we may have more time than we think. So let's get to this song, Saving Space. And I don't know. I thought of it in terms of a relationship as well. So I just found a picture of two people. So hopefully it'll be acceptable for you. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is Saving Space, Doug Slater.
Oh, baby, we've been living life. Your broken heart is on your face. And I'm sorry, but I'm not gonna cry, 'cause all my tears have been wasted. We've been stuck in the mud before. We've seen harder times knocking on our door. 'Cause I'm saving space for you, and there's no one else I'd rather go. Nowhere within you. No, our hearts are right in tune. I'm saving space for you. You said I've got my father's eyes. You carry yourself with your mama's grace. The good times taught us how to smile, but all those things are now faded. We've been stuck in the mud before. We've seen harder times knocking on our door. 'Cause I'm saving space for you, and there's no one else I'd rather go. Nowhere within you. No, our hearts are right too. Saving space for you. Whoa. Go nowhere within you. Though our hearts are right in tune. Yeah, I'm saving space for you, and there's no one else I'd rather go. Nowhere within you. Though our hearts are right in tune. I'm saving space for you. Whoa.
All right. That was a beautiful song, Doug. I really did like that a lot. It's beautiful. I like that. And it can be applicable to a relationship or to your relationship with God as well, right? I mean, really. I loved it.
Definitely.
It was beautiful. It really was. I like the feel of it. What'd you think of that song, Jerry? Isn't it cool?
Yeah, I like it. One of the things I've noticed about his songs, this one and Sovereign God, is that they sound really nice, well produced, but they
Yeah.
also sound very nice with just an acoustic. You know,
True.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they have a nice flow to them, a nice sound to them. I mean, I did my homework. I went back and I checked them out, and I went around to some. I saw them where it was who was it? Top Cat Studio. You were playing with. You had a very small little ensemble there with the bass and a katan, I think. And yeah, I mean, and it sounded really, really nice. The full production sounds really nice. So you know, this is not. These aren't his songs. Aren't ones that have to be fully produced that sound good. I mean, they would sound good with just an acoustic. Yeah, well, he's got the voice that carries it too.
No, I know. I was going to say that.
Thank
I've been
you.
waiting. Yeah, your voice is really nice. I really like your voice.
Thank you.
I really do. It's nice, man. It's just such a strong, beautiful voice. It is. I mean, it sounds like what you're going to hear on the radio, right, Jerry? I mean, that's
and I like to sit out on the porch and play the guitar, but you know, this is a little bit different because if you sat out on the porch and played the guitar, all the neighbors would start coming over. You know, so
that'd be like if I played the guitar.
Thank
like, what are you doing over there? You don't know what you're doing. I'd be like, well, I know, but I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, but they'd be coming to listen. Yeah.
Well, I come from a worship background. I've led worship at churches for many years, and so that's kind of where I guess my production comes from, a sort of a live standpoint. I don't like to do too much that you can't do live,
Right.
and that's where these songs start out, typically with an acoustic guitar. So
I just think they're beautiful. I can just imagine when you do perform some of these. Paul is back. Let me see if I can get him on here. When you do, excuse me, when you do perform some of these in church, the ones that are applicable. Okay, and our author is here too. I bet the crowd just loves it. I'm bringing Paul back on, guys.
hey,
Well, I don't know if we can hear you or not, but I see the author is here as well. So, boy, that's a bad picture. That's a.
I can
hear you now. We can hear you now. Paul's out in the middle of the woods, so it's funny. So, I tell you what, Doug, let's get to your other song. I love the title of this one too. You write some really positive, upbeat songs. I really love them. I mean, I don't hear anything sad so far. I like the fact that they're happy. You know, we need more happy in the world, don't we? We really need more happy because everybody writes sad songs, including me. So I know. So, tell us about this next song, "Living the Good Life." I love the title.
So my journey the last year or so, I mean, really during the whole COVID time, I've really worked hard on songwriting, co-writing with other people. I've been writing with people all over the world, which has been really cool. I mean, Zoom and Facebook and those different things, you can really meet people from anywhere and write from anywhere, which is great. So I wrote this with a guy, and maybe you'll have him on your show one time. His name's Eric Chance, and he's a songwriter, but he's also an author, novelist.
Perfect.
So pretty interesting cat. He lives down in Florida, plays in the beach bars, and writes music and writes books. So we wrote this tune in hopes that we could get it on a movie or TV show for what they call sync in the business, right?
Right.
So I've been producing it, working on producing it. So it's still a little bit in process, but this is real close to being a finished project, and then we're gonna send it off to a few publishing companies and sync agencies and see if we can't get it on a movie somewhere.
Oh, that would be great. And then we could say, we knew you win. Right? I know that. If it shows your name, I'd be like, tell me if you're going to be on a movie. That would be so wonderful if you're featured on a movie. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear this song. It's another great song, Living the Good Life. And yes, our author is standing by. Mr. Kelso will be with you in just a few minutes. So let's go ahead and hear this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you share some love. Show Doug some love. These are great songs. Here you go.
On my life, how it's going by fast. Made of
was so great, Doug. I really love your songs. I honestly do. They're beautiful. They're upbeat.
Thank
They're uplifting. They touch people's hearts, and I know you've touched a lot of people's hearts here. Folks, I saw what Doug wrote. He said, "Good to see you all. Love to say hi for you to say hi on his music page." I was going to get to that. So your music page is www.dougslatermusic.com.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yep.
And if they want to find your music, where can they go to download these songs if they wanted to?
So Sovereign God is available right now. It's my single off of the album that's going to be coming out, Sovereign God album.
Great.
You can find it on any streaming or download service. It's definitely on Spotify, but anywhere you look, Doug Slater, Sovereign God. And there's more music to come. I'm really excited to get my album out. Don't have an exact date yet, but it'll be in the next couple months here. But you can always go to Doug Slater Music and interact with me, shoot me an email, say hello. I have a lot of stuff on there as well.
You do.
So
you do, and I just want to show you what someone just sent. One of our first, as a matter of fact, he was our first artist that came on the show. I just want to share this with you. I don't know if you see it, but let me just share it just in case. So to
Mr.
me,
Billy.
yes, Billy said, replying to Jerry Bradley, on here, I needed these songs tonight. That's what I focused in on. He needed those songs.
cool.
You know how they're going to help a lot of people because so many, we talk about that every week on our show. If you're going through a hard time or a bad time, just hold on because the good will come back around eventually, but you have to hold on and just believe. And we're constantly trying to spread kindness. That's our biggest mission here at Carolyn's Corner. Kindness and love, because so many people are struggling. And I am grateful that you came on here and you shared those uplifting, positive songs with us. I know we do have another song, but unfortunately, we're not going to get to the fourth one, Doug. I'm very, very sorry. Is there anything you would like to add to tell our awesome fans? And remember, this will be aired live on Spotify, on YouTube. It's on there right now, on Facebook, on Twitch. And we're working on iTunes Music and Google Podcasts very soon. So it'll be a lot of places. So go ahead and share what you'd like to say to the folks out there, Doug.
Well, yeah, I just want to say thanks for having me on. My mission has always been, number one, to try and lead people closer to Christ. And number two, to be kind and to help people feel like they're loved, especially these last couple of years with COVID.
Amen.
Like you said, so many people are struggling. So my personal journey this last year, like I said, I've gotten a lot more into songwriting. I've gotten more into producing and recording here at my house. So that's kind of been my mission. And, one of these days, hopefully I get, my goal is to get a major artist to record one of my tunes and release it. So, but thank you so much for having me on.
You are welcome. And I just want to say, even if that never happens, and of course I pray that it does for you, the message that you're able to get out there, exceeds anything like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? So keep striving, but keep doing what you're doing. And please continue to share them with Carolyn's Corner as often as you like. We would love to hear them. And I will absolutely share them. Just say, hey, I got this. Anything you want me to share. And I will be, if I'm able to do the radio show Monday, because I'm having surgery on Friday on my foot. So Paul and Lalo are going to be doing the radio show for me, I believe. So would you like us to play your songs on the radio show? I hadn't even had a chance to ask you about that.
Of course. I would love it.
Absolutely. Well, we will play those on the radio show. It should be this Monday. I'll message you when I get the details for sure to make sure that we have everything lined up. It will be, for promotional purposes. It's going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun on the radio show too. That's on Monday night at 7:30 Central. And Doug, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you giving us some of your time and your blessings. Really, your blessings.
Awesome.
Thank you for blessing us tonight. You're welcome, and have a wonderful night. You're welcome to hang out if you'd like. We're going to interact with the author here for just a little bit. We have an author on here by the name of Michael Kelso. Did you want to hang out or did you need to go?
I got to go take care of my kids. Duty calls.
I understand. Well, God bless you,
feeling.
Doug. Thank you so much. And I'll tag you in the post for Monday, okay?
Awesome. Well, prayers for your foot.
Thank you. I need them. It's just a foot, I know, but it's still. All right, Doug. Thank you so much. God bless you. Take care of yourself.
Thank you. You too.
Bye,
See you
Doug.
guys.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
You know, if you
All
quit
right,
kicking
ladies and
Paul in the butt, you wouldn't have so much trouble with your foot.
No, I know it would have fixed it maybe. So his songs are so beautiful. So Paul, your author, not your author. I keep saying Arthur. I don't know why, because I didn't hold my pinky out. Wait, I can't do it.
Yes, right. It's
Y'all know when I say
author.
author, I have to hold my pinky out. I don't know why. I always pick on Paul. So he is in the waiting room. He's in a virtual waiting room. I call it the green room, but it's not even green. It's kind of like black. I'm just
It
joking.
puts you in gray.
It's in
Yeah.
gray. So I would
It's
like to
kind of
bring
like
him on
me
right
being an
now.
ice.
Yeah. I'd like to bring on the author tonight, and I'm so excited to have him here. We're going to get to know him a little bit. Mr. Michael Kelso. I hope I said that right. I did, right, Paul?
Yeah, you said that right.
It's a
Nope.
miracle. I never get names
And,
right. Let's bring
and
him
it's
on
funny
right now,
because he
ladies
said
and gentlemen.
that's no relation to the Michael Kelso off the that 70s show.
Yes.
You know,
No relation.
I get
Hi,
asked
Michael.
that
How
a
are you?
lot.
Yes.
So
I get
there you
asked
go.
that
That's
a
better.
whole lot.
Yeah, scoot down a little bit because I can't see your. There you go. It's like it's cutting off your forehead there. I mean, unless you don't want anybody to see your forehead. I
Oh no, that's
personally,
fine.
I
No,
would just have this little bubble, maybe like, oh, my eyes are okay. You can see those. Welcome to Carolyn's Corner Live. I'm so glad you joined us, Michael.
thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You are more than welcome. I was really excited when Paul said he had an author to come on because we really want to extend this show to include authors and gosh, pretty much anyone with a passion and a talent. And I know you absolutely have a passion and a talent for writing. So why don't you tell the folks that are watching a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what influences you, just a little bit about yourself.
You're from Pennsylvania. Southwestern Pennsylvania, pretty much out in the middle of nowhere. Um, I was a corrections officer for 20 years,
Wow.
and I was reading a whole lot on shift. You know, worked a lot of night shift, and a new warden came in and he said, "You can't read on shift anymore." I said, "Oh, okay. Well, if I can't read books, then I'll write them." So I started writing short stories,
Wow.
and showed some to my coworkers, and some of their first remarks were, "Wow, you're really sick." And I was like, "Oh, okay.
I
I
guess
must be
that
doing
means you're
well
really
because I
good. Does
got a
that mean you're really
reaction."
good?
Yeah. I started out writing short horror stories.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, and
See,
they're
I'm a
like,
big chicken too. So, yeah. Okay, go ahead.
One of them actually, it turned out, I got done writing one of them, and it's like, okay, there's a whole lot more story here. So I just started writing a few more scenes, expanding a few characters, and next thing you knew, I had a novel. So, I continued to write short stories, and I was on a really very supportive writing site. It's called Fan Story at that point,
Fan
and
story.
met
Okay.
a couple of my absolute writing mentors on that site, some really good writing friends, and they helped my writing to grow so much and encouraged me, said, "Hey, you need to get it out there." Started encouraging me, to publish on Amazon and put things together as book form. And they really got me going. They got me started out. In the meantime, I was finishing up the novel, and I actually met my publisher on LinkedIn. He was talking to another author. Sorry,
That's okay.
and
You should
he
hear
was
some of the words
saying,
I come up with.
he was saying, do you have anything? And I said, "Oh, well, I've got something I've got ready." He said, "Well, send me the first few chapters." I did. He said, "All right, send me the whole thing." And the next thing you know, he was like, "Yeah, I'm interested."
Wow.
So
So
that was
just like
awesome.
that. Just like
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Now
We were
that was
talking about this last week. So you were in the right
that
place at the
was
right time, maybe.
yeah, it really was, and that was several years ago when it was first published. It was a small publisher, but
Yeah.
I mean, it got me going.
But it's a
And then
publisher.
It's a publisher.
the publisher's
Regardless, right?
name is Word Crafts Press. They're a little publisher out in Wyoming, and yeah, they've been great with me. Really helped me get the book together and whatnot.
Well, let me
And
put the
then-
picture. Let me keep talking. I'm gonna put the picture of that novel up there. I hope I have the right one, just so they can get an idea. Okay.
Okay.
There you go. It doesn't take up the whole. Is that it? I
Now
hope
that's
not
actually my first horror collection. The
Oh, okay.
Fragments
So
of Fear
That's
series is my short
that's the
horror
short
stories.
oh,
Yeah, the one-on-one there, that's the novel.
Okay, let me see here. So that one-on-one. Okay. See, I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I'm sorry, Michael.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the
And
first
Paul
novel.
had to explain to me the difference between a book and a novel. I'm like, I thought they were the same. See, I'm learning so much, and I'm amazed at the similarities between songwriting and book writing.
Stories.
There's a lot of similar steps you have to take, sort of similar. Paul,
Yeah.
go ahead. I know Paul wanted to. What I said, go ahead, and he disappeared. There he is. He's back.
I'm right
Paul,
here.
go ahead.
I'm
I'll let
just
you ask some
freezing
questions.
my
No, you want to.
butt off. And of course,
There's a
I have
delay.
Charles. I have Charles over here saying it's not cold. It's 19 degrees. Do you see the steam coming out of my mouth?
I don't see it. I think it's really. I think you're just exaggerating, Paul. I don't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
This is nice.
I
This
actually
coffee's
started
nice and
reading.
warm.
I know that's me too, Jerry.
Oh.
Oh, it's so nice and warm. I love. I
Wow,
gotta have my
that's
coffee.
cruel.
You know, believe me, Michael, this has been ongoing because I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I said he's going to make it the whole time, but a lot of people did not think he'd even make it this long because he's not an outdoorsman. We love Paul, but you know, people are taking bets on this, so it's really funny, and I'm worried about him. I'm like, Paul, are you okay? But I got to pick on him too at the same time.
Well,
Go ahead, Paul.
Paul, I have a question for you.
All right.
Do you ever watch Mr. Beast videos on YouTube
Yes.
where they're always challenging each other to do stuff like that?
Ah.
Oh yeah.
So my sister just chimed in and said, why is he out there? Let me tell everybody real quick. Okay, Michael. Paul has gone hiking on a 5-day expedition. I feel like Gilligan's Island. Anyway, he's on a hiking expedition and he's stranded on it. No, he's not stranded on a desert island. He's got a hammock, but it's 19 degrees and ice on his car. Go ahead, continue with the interview. Sorry.
No, it's pretty cool because being out here gives you some great ideas for horror stories. And you know, I read, oh man, I like 6 or 7 of your short stories out of oh, my brain is even frozen right now.
Yeah.
No,
Are you talking about Fragments,
Fragments
of
of
the
Fear.
Yes.
Fragments of Fear?
Yes,
Sorry.
Fragments of Fear.
Not
I
of the
read-
fear, of fear.
I'm gonna say I finished all of them. They're pretty good little short stories.
Wow. So wait, let me get this
Awesome.
straight. You're out in the middle of nowhere on a dark, cold night, and you're reading horror stories, Paul?
Oh yeah, that's how
What
crazy
is
I
wrong
am.
with you? No, I won't even read them in a lighted room hardly because I get so scared. I'm like, what was that? What was that? Y'all know me. I'm a
So-
big chicken. Go ahead.
So I guess one of my questions is I love the story of the woman. Oh my goodness, I can't even remember. I was listening to, I actually was trying to listen to it on the Kindle in my car on the drive up here, and it was the woman and the bath.
The bat?
The bath.
Oh, the woman in the bath?
Yeah, it was basically about
We
a
have a lot of
woman
fun,
who-
Mike.
the
Yeah.
neighbors all disappeared and the cop came to the door
Oh,
and
don't
and
give
she
it all
said
of it
they're
away.
they're on a cruise. Well, that's a little short story, but it's funny is like how it started. It's like, okay, what's like all the neighbors and this cop is coming over here trying to figure it out, and then she goes up to take a bath,
Wow.
and you have to read the story to find out kind of and they're all little short stories,
Whoa.
and they're really quick to read. They're like maybe like
Really? Well, you're
3
going to have to.
pages a piece.
Oh, I could do that maybe, Paul. I have.
Oh yeah, they're real fast. They're real
Michael-
fast reads.
Oh, well, then I might be able to do that. We talk
Yeah.
all the time about my excessively dry eyes. I feel like I should be doing an infomercial for Dry Eyes by Zine. Because that's why I told Paul, hurry up with your audiobook, because I try to read too long and my eyes start burning.
Yeah,
Oh, that
because I
sounds
have.
good, though.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch my TikToks or not, but I got I have three. I have 2 novels out. I have a third one I'm working on. Actually, I have like 6 I'm working on, but I also have a novella, and I'm actually coming out with an audiobook that we're doing a full cast audiobook on. That's what she was talking about.
Wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, and Edgar just said, Paul, Bigfoot's going to get you.
You know what? I kept hearing popping in the woods. Like
Told
Oh
you.
no.
the woods.
I told
popping,
you.
And Charles was like, it's nothing. I'm like, that's Bigfoot over
Tell
there.
Charles he might be wrong.
He's
So Jerry, I
napping on those
gotta
woods.
get off the subject of scared because I'm a big chicken. We did a paranormal stint during Halloween. It was Into the Unknown, and we had some of the scariest things ever, paranormal stories and happenings and things that happened right in this room, actually. So I'm a big chicken. Everyone knows I'm a big chicken. Paul, stop trying to scare me. See, he's trying to scare me. So go ahead, Paul. Ask Michael about his books. So I'm going to put the picture of another book up there while you're doing that.
Another question I had is
that looks horrifying, by the way.
I work with a contractor. Obviously, my secret job sort of works with the TDCJ, the Texas prison system. So I kind of got the ins and outs of a lot of that. But did your ideas come from stories that the offenders talk about?
Maybe a little bit. For the short stories, it's a lot of stuff that just like you'll probably notice that a lot of them, the theme is everyday stuff, you know, and lots of times I'll just be bored and just start thinking, oh, what if this, a lot of them are a what if kind of thing. And I love writing a story with a twist at the end. That's like my favorite part. If somebody comes up to me and says, wow, you got me with that. Oh, wow, I didn't see that coming. That's one of my favorite things.
I bet. Well, I've got to interrupt again because you do know that there's somebody behind you, right, Michael?
Yes, I see their hand popping up. That's
thank goodness.
The family's in the car with me.
I was like, that was well planned out, Michael. Very good.
Yeah, there's nothing that's going to get me.
Continue.
Now, if we see that hand behind Paul, then we should worry.
Then I'm going to say, what in the world? Because all I see is black and a hand. I'm like, oh, what's going on over there, Michael?
Yeah. And we're talking about horror stories. Yep.
Go ahead.
I'm
sorry,
this
guys.
Is the perfect place to be to talk about horror stories is in the woods, in a hammock.
Yeah.
Completely open.
No.
Yes, it's awesome because you know what? Your brain
kidding?
starts firing on all cylinders, and you just start coming up with what ifs.
Now, Paul, I have a question for you. When it gets to be midnight, are you going to be saying that? You know why I'm saying that. I'm so worried for Paul. I'm putting another picture of a book up. Y'all keep talking. I'll try not to interrupt.
Well, I actually wrote another, like a longer short story called The Trail. And guess what? It's about 5 friends out in the middle of the woods.
Oh, God. Paul! Oh, my God. Don't go into the woods, Paul. Don't do it.
Look, I'm already here. It's too late.
I know. I'm randomly putting pictures of some of your books up, the ones that we have. Cool covers. Really cool. This one looks, I don't even think it looks terrifying. I could just picture this creature coming at me and eating my brain.
Yeah. I have two different sources for covers. Now, some of those, the first 1 and 3, I did myself. 2 was done by a friend. And then I have a cover designer that I work with that does really excellent work.
Wow.
And he did, he did 4, the one that your guy eating the brain. And he also did.
Let me put it back up there. That is really terrifying looking. Oh.
Yeah, he's done a few of my covers and done a really good job.
Yeah, if his job is to scare me, it worked. It did work. Tell him good
Yeah.
job on that. Good job on that. Well, I haven't read your books yet. I haven't had a chance. I'll get Paul to read them out loud to me, and I'll be smacking him on the arm. Stop it! Stop trying to scare me.
And if any of our viewing audience is trying to watch us and eat supper at the same time, all I can say
Good
is
point.
No, but that's what I do.
That's a good point, Jerry. Jerry, did you have anything you want to talk to Michael about? Poor Jerry hasn't gotten a word in edgewise.
oh, that's quite all right.
Yeah.
Michael's going on. Yeah.
No,
You know,
that's one of the things.
Go ahead.
What?
Paul.
Cut out. I lost audio there.
Oh no.
Oh, Paul,
I think
have we lost you? Have we lost audio?
Yeah, I didn't hear
Paul
him.
can't talk. Oh no.
I think he froze. I'm the one that's
Literally,
Paul,
I
we're
think-
trying to communicate with you.
Where's the flashlight? Paul. He had me laughing
right.
so bad earlier, y'all. I'm telling you, because he was trying to get comfortable. I was telling him, quit making noise. He's like, well, I got to move. And then he couldn't find his glasses in the hammock, and he's looking, and they were way up here on top of his head, on under his hood. I was laughing so hard.
I'll have to write a short story about the guy who froze on camera, literally.
I think you should. That's a good idea, Michael. I think that's your next short story. There was a computer guy that went hiking into the woods, and they never heard from him
Yep.
again.
Yep.
Let's hope that doesn't happen. Paul, can you hear us? Paul,
He's too busy laughing now.
But his screen froze. No, it didn't.
Yeah.
That's the way they found him. Right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. The last time he communicated with anyone on the outside world is during Carolyn's Corner Live.
The last words he
see
said
the
were, "I'm
headline
so
now."
cold."
We hear
There
you,
we
Paul.
go.
Thank God. Oh my God. Are you okay, Paul? Well, earlier there was a big delay, so he would talk and he would say, anyway, there was a delay, so I told him to mouth the words and then say them, but he didn't do it. Paul, try to say something so we can see if we can hear you. I think he got mad at me. Oh,
Yeah, he's frozen again.
okay. Go ahead about your books, Michael. This is very important. Stop getting lost in the woods, Paul.
Yeah, I'm actually working on 2 more books now. I've been putting episodes on Kindle Vella. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but it's the way I equate it is it's like Netflix for readers.
Oh,
So
wow.
people put up their stories like one episode at a time. They don't call them chapters; they call them episodes.
Nice.
And
Just like a
readers go in
podcast,
and they,
sort of.
yeah,
Sorry.
and readers go in and read them. And so my next 2 books that I've been putting out are actually mysteries. And of course, I'm still working on my next collection of short horror stories. But
Wow. Well, I have a question. Paul said that he visualizes
Can you hear?
like literally
Yeah,
like a
can you hear
movie
me?
in front of his eyes when he's writing a story. Do you I don't know what he's doing. Do you visualize like a movie, like acting out when you're writing these stories? Do you actually see it like a movie?
yeah, actually, lots of times I will. And when it goes with like the longer stories, like the novels and whatnot, I'll
Yes.
actually write in scenes. So I'll visualize a scene that I want to write, and then I'll just write it and put it in the story where it goes. So it's
Wow.
easier to write that way, for me at least. Every author's different, everybody writes different, but for me it's easier because if I get an idea and I know what I want to do with that in the story, I can say, oh, okay, I'll plug that in here, and I don't have to be nailed down to, beginning, middle, end. I can say, well, here, I think I could do a little bit more with the ending right here.
That's so cool. And again, Jerry, don't you think author writing books is very, in a way, similar to songwriting, just in a much larger capacity, right? I mean, it seems similar because you have to fit the pieces together for a song in order for them to be the perfect song, just like you have to do with a book, and you have to go through publishing and all of that. So what do you think?
No.
No, he was supposed to agree with me. We didn't practice this though. We did not rehearse.
I think you're leaning that way because you and I both write more ballad type songs,
Yes.
which tell a story.
Yes.
You know,
Oh,
there's a
yeah.
lot of songs that don't really tell a story, and
True.
especially when we get into like praise songs, a lot of repeats and a lot of keep goings, but it's not a real, you know, we don't have a
That
real
is true.
story lined up. You know, but when you look at the book writer, whether it's a novelette or a full blown novel, or you know, that process is very similar in the creative way. Like we
Right.
had talked about before, you know, some authors will, it's just like songwriters will plant a seed and let it grow. They don't know what's going to be, how it's going to end until it gets there.
Right.
Others are more like, you know, builders that have the blueprints all laid out and they know how every room is going to be, you know. So,
Right.
what kind of, with that being said, what kind of writer do you think you are? Are you more of the planter or the builder?
Huh. I've had this question before, and I used to be a pantser to where like I would fly by the seat of my pants, just like
Oh, I
whatever
didn't. I
came.
didn't hear that. I'm
Okay.
like, answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
They call them either pantsers or plotters. But then I went to a book signing with Jonathan Mayberry here a few years ago, and I heard him talk about um, just write a story and then use that as your outline. And that's what I've been doing ever since then. So now I call myself a plantser, you know, so I'm not a plotter
Combination.
and I'm not a pantser, but yeah, I'll write a story beginning to end. And then I'll say, okay, what else can I do with this? But I
Wow.
also agree with the songwriting part because I used to write songs before I started writing stories, and I agree there's a lot more to it because I could put words down, but then I had to come up with the melody that would meet those words, or I would come up with a melody and say, okay, what words can I put? It's a lot more complex than just saying, hey, I want to tell a story. You know, it's everything about the rhythm, about how you present it, and, you know, and matching the story with the music for it. I think it's a lot tougher to write songs than it is to write stories and even novels. It's just novels take longer.
Yeah, well, one of the things that's happening more and more with music with our modern age of technology is there's a lot of co-writing going on. So you might have somebody that's very strong with melodies, and someone that's very strong with lyrics. But you know, I was working with a young lady today, and I was talking about the fact that okay, some of these songs that she has are very dark, you know,
Mhm.
and so therefore usually if you're doing something more on the dark side, you're going to go into the minor chords when you're talking about music,
Yeah.
you know, versus the more uplifting happy, you do a lot of major chords, uh, you know, and it's just unique how you, so many people are getting together on these songwritings that it's not, you know, if you're weak in one area but you're strong in another, you can get together and say, hey, let's do a co-write, and
Yeah.
that's kind of neat. You don't see a lot of authors do that. Let's get
That's
together and
true.
write a story. You know, authors, you're taking that thing on from beginning to end, and then
Wow.
you're going back and you're doing the editing and the rewriting. You know, I always say that we create with the right brain, we edit with the left. You know, so,
Right. And I have a question for you, Michael, just for those that are authors that are out there, or maybe people that want to start writing books or stories. When you send the book to your publisher, does he do the editing, or do you editing and all of that, or do you have to take care of all of that yourself? Hire a separate editor? Is that part of the publishing deal?
Well, I had already hired one publisher or one editor to
editor.
go
Yeah.
through my manuscript. So it was already polished to that point when
Good.
I first sent it to him. Um, you want to put your best foot forward,
Right.
and then once I had signed with the publisher, then he and I went through and we re-edited.
Wow.
So it was actually both. You know, I did already have it edited so that I could present my work the best way I could. But then he said, okay, now there's a few things we still need to work out before we're going to publish it.
That's awesome. And but with your books, the publisher, are they then responsible for printing the book, distributing the books, and all of that, right? Because I'm completely new to that. I'm not sure how that works.
Well, I mean,
Or
this is a small publisher.
okay.
So this wasn't like being signed by Penguin or Harlequin, or anything
Right.
like that. So it was like, okay, I'm agreeing I will publish your book, but like all the marketing was on me.
Oh,
Any copies that I want for myself, I have to purchase at a reduced author price.
I got you. Okay.
So pretty much it's all about me. It's like, if you want to compare it to a race, they'll get the car ready and they'll get me up to the start line, but then it's my job to run the race.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
I
I get
have to
it.
take care of
Okay.
everything else.
Wow, that
You
makes sense. I was just very curious about that because, like I said, to me it's similar, but Jerry explained the differences there and why they are or aren't similar. That's
Yeah.
that's really interesting because we may have people out there watching right now that want to write books or that have a story. You never know. And I know throughout this time, these shows that we're having, we hope to explain in a little bit further detail, a little at a time. You need this, then you need that. Now I know you could do self-publishing like Paul's doing, or you could try to find a publisher. So I do know that part. And an
Yeah,
editor and an illustrator if you're going to do illustrations. And
yeah, you
wow,
can
there's a lot.
really sink a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
The novel is my only traditionally published work. All the other ones I'm all self-published.
Oh, okay. So you're doing both. That's wonderful. So that's good. I mean, I think that's good because you have that expertise in both area or the experience, whether it be expertise yet or not. You know what I mean? At least you could say, well, you can expect this. And I don't mean that offensive at all. I'm just saying for someone that's never done anything like that, because we're all about trying to help each other, help someone with a passion or a talent. And if nothing else, they may hear one thing like, oh, I need somebody to edit it first before I say, that could be something that regular Joe wouldn't know to do. Right.
And there's different types of editing too.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
you have line editing, you have content editing. I just did content editing for a friend of mine who's doing a story about Sasquatch. Well, not about them, but anyway, it's
cool. We were just talking about that.
yeah. And so, the content editing is just really making sure that it makes sense and that where you're going from here to there, and sometimes we catch simple mistakes like, hey, I started off this with the character's name being this. I decided later to change that character's name. Did I catch all the places I need to change it? Doing content stuff. And then you got line editing, grammar, so forth. So it really, like you said, you can really drop a big bundle of money.
Yes.
On editors, on getting with publishers, getting these things straight. Or you can do a lot of that work yourself. I would never recommend to anyone to edit it's always good to edit your own work to give it that first look over, but you'll never catch all your mistakes. That's because your mind knows what you thought you wrote, but what might actually be on the paper, like you've read that sentence 100 times, it said Jim and Billy, but actually it says Jim, Billy, and left the "and" out. But you read it because you meant.
Yeah, you what do you call it? Where you skip words and you don't even realize you're doing it. That happens all the time when you're reading something. You what do you call that? I can't remember what you call it. But anyway, it's got a name. I just can't remember. Because it might be right in front of you over and over. You're right, Jerry. That's an excellent point. Oh, Tambourine, thank you so much. Tambourine has shared our show to all platforms. Thank you, beautiful. And I've got something I want to talk to you all about in just a minute. Regarding our platforms, because we've added a lot of new platforms. I've been really like, I'm going to get us out there because I want all of our amazing guests to have as much of an audience as possible because, you're going to share something with people. They'll hopefully go out and buy your book, for example. They may get valuable information out of what you're telling them because we all have something to offer each other, whether we think we do or not, even if it's just kindness, right? It's just, I think so. I really do think so. So tell them where they can get your books at, Michael.
Well, you can go to my Facebook page is facebook.com / Mike's Writings.
Okay.
And I'm also on TikTok, and my link is in there. My handle is author Michael Kelso. I'm
Okay.
on Twitter as Michael Kelso too, not that 70s guy.
Yeah, because you
'cause
know
like,
everybody's going to say, "Oh my God, it's Michael Kelso."
yeah, like when you started out, you said about that, and I was saying I think you got lost in the shuffle. I do get asked that question quite often about
Yeah, Paul had mentioned that
that
it's not the
70s show. Yeah,
because when he first told me about you, he said not the one from that 70s show. I'm like, "Oh,
yeah.
okay." But
I wish I had his popularity, you know.
I know.
Yeah,
But who
but you know,
knows? Who knows, Michael? You never know. If
that's true.
all these scary books, people like scary stories. And
Yep.
I just wish I was braver, to be quite honest. I'm not. I'm not brave at all, Michael. I'm not. I used to be a little brave, but now I'm like, nope. I don't even. So Paul's gonna have to read them to me for real, or his wife, or something. Because I'll be like,
With
okay,
the lights on.
have you ever been? When I go to scary movies, I'm one of those. My daughter too, where we either cover our ears or our eyes, depending on what's happening. It's so silly, so silly. So I'm like, nope, I don't want to intentionally scare myself, but I would like to read some of them, especially the shorter ones, because I figured it couldn't scare me that bad if it's short. I love interesting stories like that, mysteries.
Yeah.
I like the mysteries. I just don't like it when something jumps out at me. I hate those things on Facebook. You know, when you're scrolling and they're showing
Yes.
something, all of a sudden a giant spider. I put a message on there. I said, y'all are going to give somebody a heart attack one of these days by doing these stupid pranks on old people, because we're going to have a heart attack. So, Jerry, what else did you have to add, sir?
No, I think that's really good. And I'm tap dancing because this is Paul's segment.
I know, Jerry.
But fortunately, I have actually written some, so I know a little bit about
Yes,
it.
Jerry, you have.
But that's really cool, and the whole thing with today's market, the traditional publishers are really struggling. There's some big ones that are still out there going, but even within the town that I live close to, like we had Barnes and Nobles, and we had 5 or 6 bookstores. We have one, and it's also got a coffee shop built in it now. So there's just not.
It's because of the digital era, right? Everyone's downloading everything they want. What's the point in going? But we're losing our human touch too. I think, really, you're losing that when you're not even. But it's almost like the perfect timing because of the pandemic. Maybe, who knows?
Right, and I like to feel my book. I like to turn the pages and have it in my hand.
Me too.
And scribble all over it, But you don't want to ever get a book after I'm done with it, because I'm. But the more worn it is, the better it is. That was one of the ones, and I have to admit it's very convenient. Really, like I said, I didn't think I was ever going to get away from that hard copy, but it's really convenient to bring it up on your computer or your phone or your tablet, or there we go. I'm in the middle of the woods. I'm going to scroll through this like Paul does. That's not, and books on, I'm kind of like you too. If I'm going on a long trip, I'd rather listen to it. Let's it's going to.
It makes it a lot easier. Do you have any of your books, audio books yet, Michael? I guess so, right? Paul was listening to some.
I do not have them in audiobooks.
Oh, sorry.
I would like to, but that's a little bit further down the line than I can explore right now.
Well, it's one step at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
So what you do is you get you a place like I have right here. It's called a vocal booth. That's meant for songwriters and singers. Right? It's meant for singers and musicians. But Paul does the same thing. He does all of his audios within his booth. And that's really a secret. This is a place we come and hide to get away from the spouse.
They think you're working, so they won't bother you. It's like a what is it?
Man
a he
cave.
Shed. Man cave. Yes, it's not a he shed. It's a she shed or a man cave, not a he shed. Oh, I think we're on to something. A he shed. He said he shed.
You call it the doghouse.
The doghouse was more like.
And then you have a reason for going. When the wife says, "Oh, you're in the doghouse," there you go.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the wives usually do say. Sometimes we don't say it out loud, but that's our secret language language that we say. We share that information when we go to the restroom together in a public place, where the fax machines are in the computer so we can talk about the men. And no, I'm just kidding.
So that's what they're saying.
I've
Okay.
always said that for years. I'm like, why do women go in the bathroom in groups, especially when you're out at a nightclub or something? They always go in groups. And I said, it's because we have all the information that's in there. We have to go check these people out. It's our secret office. Y'all don't even know.
Everybody changing notes.
Yes. I'm just joking, but it is funny. I always thought about that. It's so great. So, Michael, I've really enjoyed having you here. Thank you so much for spending some time with us tonight. Let me see what kind of comments we have on here real quick. We just got to get to a few other things before our show ends. We're trying to cut the time down on our show now because we are posting it to Spotify as well. And if it's too long, it won't take it. So I'm trying to really limit it. And I hate that because I could talk for hours and hours, obviously. Yeah. Blabbermouth, that was always my nickname. So do you have anything you want to add about your books? If you want to, because Paul was unfortunately having issues with his signal. If you'd like to send all of your information, like where they can find your books, to Paul specifically, and then he can send them to me in Messenger and I'll post them on Carolyn's Corner, okay?
That would be awesome.
I didn't get a chance to do that, and I'm really, really sorry. All I had were the pictures of them. I apologize.
Oh, that's all right.
We're learning as we go, just like all of us. We learn as we go. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So one day, if I ever get everything right and it's all perfect, y'all are going to say, what? Who replaced Carolyn? Because if I don't make mistakes, something's wrong. Right, Jerry?
Well, one of my favorite sayings is from Thomas Edison. When somebody got on him about not being able to invent the light bulb, he says, I haven't failed. I found 10,000 ways it won't work.
That's good.
I love that. You never fail until you stop trying.
Absolutely. I love that. That's great. And I just know in my heart that you've been able to help some people. We have a couple of authors on here right now. Jerry has written books. Billy Fleming has written books. Paul, of course, has written books. And that's just the few that I know right this second. So a lot of them, I'm sure some of your information was very useful to them. Folks, make sure if you get a chance to go and download some of Michael Kelso's books. That's, let me put this up one more time. Okay, Michael? At least it'll give them an idea, and make sure you write his name down, how he spells it. Michael, because you never know. I'm always like, okay. And it's got pictures of books. See that? And his picture in the corner. Okay. So go look for that. It's sometimes
back when I had hair.
Back when you had hair, just pretend like it. Oh, I pick on my other co-host Lalo about that all the time. Nothing to be ashamed of. It just means you've aged gracefully. But for some reason,
I asked for this.
You asked for it?
Yeah, just once every few months, it's like, oh, will you please get this mop off of my head? And my wife will say, okay.
Nice. Yeah. And she's like, well, I love you anyway. It's all right.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, we really do appreciate you joining us. Anything you want to add for Michael, Jerry, before we say our goodbyes?
No, but we certainly appreciate you being on the show tonight, Michael. It was very entertaining, a lot of fun. I love your personality, and I can just see you sitting in the. I worked in security forces, big difference when I was in the Air Force, but I can see you sitting there, bored now, thinking, I got this saucer here. How can I kill someone with it?
Yep, exactly. You got it.
I bet so. Well, most importantly, I'm glad that you're here with us tonight, and I'm glad that you're safe. And I am really blessed that you have chosen to be here with us. We really appreciate it, Michael. Spread the word for us. Yeah, spread the word.
Thank you very much.
You are more than welcome. We hope that you will get at least a few people to download your books. If not, at least you got the word out. Don't forget to send that information to Paul, and I will put it on my website or my Facebook page and anywhere else I can. I promise. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome, Michael. Take care of yourself. God bless you.
All right. You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's just myself and Jerry. We've got a few minutes remaining before we have to shut down, unfortunately. I wanted to share a few things with y'all. Jerry, as you know, we've added some more social media platforms, and I've been pasting them everywhere. But I want to tell them about one in particular that's very important. I shared this earlier. I'm going to put this up on the screen real quick. Okay, Jerry?
Okay.
So this is what our anchor page looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I just completed it. Was it yesterday or the night before? And I found out that they have what's called ambassador ads. And that's where you can go and advertise for them. And but you can't do that unless you have at least 50 viewers. So what I'm asking is if everyone could go on to anchor.com and look for that Carolyn's Corner Live. It's got that right there. And listen to the podcast that says anchor.com. This is the one from last week, and we'll have one on there for tonight. So just listen to it. It's just going to be the audio. It's streaming live straight to Anchor. So that's another way we can have viewers. But I want to get at least 50 viewers so that we can start advertising, because it's a way for us to generate a little bit of revenue. Even if it's just a minute amount, it's something, because we want to be able to keep building, Jerry, and you understand that. And if it gives us just a little, we can keep doing that. And then we are on Spotify. Well, we will be. It goes through Anchor, and then I put it on Spotify. So I'm learning all.
But if you bring it up and it says Anchor, it gives you a choice, Anchor or Spotify. Go to Anchor.
Yes. Thank you, Jerry. That's the big thing, because I've had like 4 or 5 people view it today, which thank you so much. I don't know how long you have to watch it for it to count you as a viewer. I tried to view it and it said, no, you can't do that. You can't view your own. I was like, oh, darn it. It caught me. So yeah, if it gives you a choice, don't select the Spotify. Go to the Spotify later. But while you're listening to it this time, or the last show we did, go to Anchor. Very good point, Jerry, because it won't count for us if you don't. But we do have a page on Spotify as well. Let me pull that up. I just kind of took a screenshot of it. And it's funny because almost everyone that we've had on the show or are going to have on the show as far as singer-songwriters, I've been able to find on there. So I'm creating a playlist and adding their songs to it as we go. And I probably don't do it right because I'm learning all this stuff. So, I'm not an expert by far, but hey, I'm pretty proud that I'm learning as much as I am. So that's really important. And we are coming out with some more merchandise. I just want to give you all a little sneak peek. Crystal is making some really awesome merchandise. Let me show you these real quick. These are little air freshies and they smell amazing. They say Carolyn's Corner Live, be kind on one side, and different colors. And then she's going to develop a design for the men as well. And then this is one more group of items she made. And we have a lot of other stuff, but I'm just showing you. These are some of our Carolyn's Corner koozies. You can't really tell, but some of them are shimmery. They have the shimmery letters. So it says Carolyn's Corner, be kind, Beeville, Texas. And on the other side, it says Carolyn's Fun Time Karaoke. So if anyone watching tonight or anytime wants any of those items, just let me know. Message me and I'll get them to you, okay? Jerry, what do you have to add for everyone out there? Anything?
No, but I would like to do a shout out to
Yes.
Cherise Perkins. I know you think you're special because you got to work with her.
No, I never think I'm special. I never do. Believe me, I don't.
No,
I just get so excited like a little schoolgirl. I'm like, oh my God.
So wonderful. Got the opportunity to work with her today with one of my songs. She had made a suggestion about, I needed to pick up, I needed to have the chorus lift. And I was like, okay. How do we do that? And so she worked with me and just really, she put out some stuff that was so simple. I was going, why didn't I think of that? But then this part I want to tell you, but then I heard her singing my song. It almost brought me to tears. It was like, oh my God, her vocals are so. Let me tell you, if you want to go looking for other than our guest right now, and Sharice is going to be on here eventually. She's got some new stuff coming out. But my gosh, her vocals are amazing, just absolutely amazing. Cherise Perkins, just yeah.
See, I have her as Cherise Carver. Is she have 2 different names?
Yes.
I'm just wondering. Okay, because maybe she does. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think her CD was Perkins. I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's good. See, I didn't realize that. I'm glad you pointed that out.
I didn't either. And I hope I didn't mess it up. But.
She is incredible. Honestly, her voice, as soon as I heard one word come out of her mouth, a melody, I was like, I immediately got goosebumps all over me because her voice it's just gorgeous, right? It really is. And I know we're going to run into people like that doing this show, but boy, I hate, I'm not trying to be negative either, but it seems like to me, they're rare. Those voices are rare. The ones that just go, whoa, right?
Absolutely. One of the things I told her today was, I would rather listen to somebody that's a little pitchy and I can feel the emotion coming from it than somebody that sings perfectly and can't feel the emotion. but with her, you get the best of both. I mean, the
Yes.
emotions there, and it's, in key and pitch, and it's just wonderful. I don't even know how to describe her. I'd kind of say Loretta Lynn, but she doesn't have the twang. It's just
Right.
really smooth, just wonderful. And and I'm bragging about this a little bit, but let's face it, she took your song and just did a marvelous job of it, and you guys are getting it recorded, and she's just an amazing person. But anyway, so I wanted to
Yeah,
give a
we're
shout
really
out
excited
and
about that.
say,
She's amazing. Yeah, and I will shout her out as often as I can as well, because she's just an amazing person. Well, just like you, Jerry, honestly. I tell everyone I met you, I mean, you're just like a blessing. Both of you are just blessings. I mean, really. Honestly, I mean that, because we cross paths, and for whatever reason, everybody, I've been saying that for all these years. And, it's just so cool. It's so cool that you're in North Carolina. We've never met in person, but yet I feel we have a connection, just like, we do, because you're here with us. And I can't imagine you not being here with us. If we were doing it without you, it just would not be the same. So you just came along at the perfect time. You're just amazing. And I appreciate everything you're doing for us and for songwriters in general, because you do help a lot of people.
yeah, and I do a little pre-screening for you, so I'm going to let that one slide after I
Yeah, I
go.
know I messed up. I'm sorry, Jerry.
That's all right.
Y'all, I have the worst memory, and I'm trying to trying to relinquish some of, because it's just a lot. And so I asked Jerry to pre-screen it, just, and I kind of messed up. I didn't take thorough notes because I was up at 3 a.m. doing it like a dummy. I get so anxious. I'm like, okay, I want to get it done, get it done. I'm like, oh, I got to quit doing that. So, I really, really, really appreciate everyone being here. Thanks so much for coming on and joining us. I hope you had a good time tonight. I wish we could stay on here all night, because I probably would. And then I'd never wake up in the morning. Jerry would probably fall asleep. Everybody'd be asleep. I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? Wake up. Because it's just like hanging out with old friends, I think. I really do. That's how I feel. And I'm sorry we didn't get a chance to really interact with you guys as much as we would like to. Jason says good writing advice to help people reduce anxiety. Yes, Jason, that is so true. And I know Jerry is also helping Jason. You're just a great guy. And Tambourine shared with us. Everybody's doing, if everybody does a little something, we can make a big something. Don't you agree, Jerry?
I think so, and I think it's wonderful
Yeah.
that you're helping new songwriters that's trying to get, because there are so many wonderful songwriters out there.
Gosh, there are.
They're just amazing, but they just don't get that. I mean, let's face it, it's kind of a shot in the dark with a lot of people.
Yes,
Uh,
it is. It is. It's really hard to know what to do, where to go, who to turn to. All you know is this is what you like to do, and it's like, and I guess I'm like everybody. You finally get to a point in your life where you're like, well, I guess I should try to do something. Otherwise, they're just going to sit here in this folder, or, on this recorder or whatever. And
well,
that's the way I feel about it. It's like, if
and,
nobody
and
hears them, what is the point even?
and I keep talking about Charisse, but this is a true statement. I told Charisse this the other day when we were doing a workshop. We were reviewing songs, but she is one of the few people that could be a songwriter and sell her song. Well, you don't actually sell it, you lease it, whatever.
Yeah.
To somebody else that's really famous that will sing her song and not sound as good as she does when she sings.
You know what? That is very true. I talked to another lady like that. I was thinking that this morning, similar to that. I thought to myself, well, why would it matter if they get released? Because you're such an amazing singer already. So, and that's true. It is true. And I agree with you 100% on that statement, Jerry.
Yeah.
100%. It's like they'd
Well,
probably
we're
be
looking
saying, well,
forward to your song coming out. When is that happening?
I'm not sure. I'm really not supposed to discuss it at all.
Okay, no,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's in the process. But when it does, I'll definitely let everybody know.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah, definitely. I will. I'll be like, oh my God. Oh my God. I'll be like a 3-year-old. Oh my God, look at this. I can't even imagine.
well, we won't give out all the details, but it's just been a fun working with you on songs, and passing things back and forth, and
Yes,
getting to know different people within our songwriting community. It's just
exactly.
been so great.
It has. It's almost like with you and I, it's like you said this and it made me think about it too. It's like we were literally out on the front porch just swapping songs back and forth. And I've always wanted to do that. I love that. Yeah, I really do. I mean, if somebody comes over and if I start talking about songs, forget it. My husband already knows. Oh gosh, there she goes again.
Yeah,
You know
we'll
what I
be
mean?
here
'Cause I'll
for
be
an
like,
hour. Yeah. So,
yeah, Tammy said you won't be able to contain her. It's true. Well, because I'm just so, after so many years, it's just such a blessing. And and I can't imagine ever losing that, you know what I mean? That passion, that
oh
just
yeah,
excitement.
I got to write with a co-write recently with Joyce Richards and Crystal Cristoria, and
Wow.
it's been just so much fun getting to know
Right.
and getting around people, and it's just been so to watch and kind of like we were talking about one person's strong point, you know, kind of helps with another. I mean,
Yes.
uh, but it's. When you look at Joy Richards' name is her name, but look at her. Like we were co-writing, I'd come up with a line, she'd come up with a whole stanza. She'd go, "Oh, I
Yeah.
like that," and from there, she's done written it out already. And I'm going, I can't even
Because you
think that
inspire
fast.
you. It's crazy, right? Yeah, no, you inspire each other. It is, but to me, it's really cool because that was that recently, that's the first time I've ever co-written with anyone. And I thought it was such a cool process because I've always wanted to do that. I'm like, what would they say if I said this? I've always wanted to do a game, you know what I mean? Where you just go around and everybody makes up a line, sings a song. Nobody ever wants to do it with me. I'm like, come on, it'll be fun. And they look at me like, what's wrong with you? Because I'm just like, it would be so much fun, just see what we come up with. So, because I just love it. I think it's so cool when you have a passion like that. It's in your blood. And I
Oh
know it's
well, we can get
definitely
like
your
four
blood.
of us together, get you, me, Paul, and somebody else, and we can
Yes,
do a story that way. You do one line, I'll do the next,
I would
just to
love that.
watch
That would be,
where it would watch how it would take that turn this way, and then Paul
yeah.
may, you know,
That are
and
you kidding? That I've always wanted to do that. I'd love to do it for real. We should. That's a great idea, Jerry. That is a great idea. We used to do that when we would just make up stories once upon a time. Even a fairy tale, and the next person says a line, but it would end up being ridiculously funny, which is pretty good. The thing is trying to keep it PG rated because sometimes people say something like, "What? You can't say that."
yeah. Especially when you're sitting around a campfire with a few
Yes,
beers, it gets pretty lively. Yeah. So,
absolutely. Well,
well,
I guess
Carolyn, I
it's
think your
9 o'clock.
time is about up, but
I
sweetheart, I
know.
mean, Carolyn, I think I hate to say it, but it's about time for us to
Hit the hay,
say
as they say.
goodnight. Yeah. What is it, Carolyn?
Well,
That
ladies
does
and
a
gentlemen, we really appreciate y'all being on here more than you know. Please go to our Anchor page and watch that on Anchor. Okay, please. We really need at least 50, at least 50 viewers. It seems like such a small amount until you're trying to get to 50. Then it's not. Share, comment, share, like, subscribe, whatever it tells you to do. Please do it for us. We want a bigger audience for these amazing, talented people. It's so cool, isn't it, Jerry? I'm
It is.
beyond blessed, and I know you are too, that we are getting to experience this together. I think it's so cool. I really do. And I'm just blessed that I'm able to do it. And ladies and gentlemen, I hope you take care of yourself, stay warm wherever you are, or stay cool if you're where it's hot. And if it's hot where you are, oh yeah. No, I'm just kidding. Paul, take care of yourself. Paul, be careful out there. Remember, I'm betting on you. I'm betting on you, Paul. You can make it the whole way. Just be careful. Don't freeze to death. Don't get eaten by an animal. Guys, I love you all. Good night and have a wonderful
Right.
night. And we will see you. I will not be at the radio show on Monday. Paul and Lalo may be doing the show because I'm having my surgery in 2 days. Don't remind me. I'm freaking out already. It'll be all right. I'm just going to pray about it. Just whoo. So say a little prayer for me. I know it's just my foot, but I just need prayer that I'll stay calm and not just run away. Like, I'm not doing this. So, just make sure I stay calm. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all so much. Good night and have a wonderful evening.
Good night.
Bye, Jerry. Thank you.
Bye. Good night. Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.